So, recently, to my surprise and horror, I turned 50. I'm 50 years old. I've been gaming since the 1980s. Somehow, through all that time, 40 years, I've never played a Pokémon game. Obviously, Pokémon wasn't around at the start. When Pokémon first arrived, I was already an adult, working, socialising, doing adult things. Yes, that does mean going out, drinking, raving, romancing. And well, it just wasn't part of my circle. I assumed it was for kids. That was the story I told myself for decades, and I never questioned it. Fast forward to last month, and my niece came round with a binder of Pokémon cards, all neatly organised, and I found myself flipping through it like some archaeologist stumbling across a well-preserved ancient text. Bright, shiny, colourful cards, my niece's enthusiasm, her strategy for collecting, and the art was glorious. I have no context for this world, but I wanted in. A couple of weeks later, I saw my chance, an advert for a new game, a Pokémon game, and I remembered my niece's binder. So I picked up Pokémon Z, my first Pokémon experience ever, and I put about 20 hours in. And here's the thing, yes, it is very much aimed at children. The tutorial is long, the hand-holding is heavy, and a lot of the basic mechanics are explained multiple times over a long drawn-out period, and normally that kind of thing irritates me. I've spent decades in games and too much hand-holding is frowned upon. But here at 50, completely new to the franchise, I actually appreciated it. Didn't know which type beats which. I didn't know if I'm meant to level one Pokemon or catch everything in sight, and I don't know what half the items do. And without this kind of guidance, I probably would have put down the game straight away. What I do understand, even after just a few hours, is why this game hooks people. The simple act of hunting, catching, and watching a creature library grow and evolve scratches an itch that is older than me. It is the same compulsion that made me years ago obsess over Magic the Gathering cards. The thrill of completion, the sense of ownership, the dopamine ping when a new Pokemon drops into your collection. It's immediate and it's addictive. But it was whilst walking around the museum section of the game, seeing all the generations of Pokemon items and the history and multiple areas and locations, I felt that familiar collector's spark ignite. There's history to discover. This game at times is lovely, especially when I switched from my main TV to the Switch Lite. But then there's the other side. For a franchise of this scale, a cultural cornerstone, the game frequently looks and feels unfinished. Graphics swing from acceptable to genuinely jarring. NPCs stand idle like mannequins. Interiors are blocked off or limited, sometimes with a single shopkeeper standing outside a doorway, apparently waiting for development that will never come. It feels as though the foundations of the game were started and then abandoned mid-project and wallpapered over to cover the cracks, quite literally in the case of the buildings. This is frustrating and hugely disappointing. The menus compound this frustration. As a gamer with decades of experience, I still find myself lost when trying to do something as basic as changing moves or healing a Pokemon. Clicking back and forth, trying to understand what's going on. It's not me being bad at the game, it's the UI itself. There is no intuitive flow, it's unnecessarily clunky and often missing simple functions, a link to evolved versions, a way to arrange by type. And then you see that there's DLC already on sale, before the world feels complete, before the basics are polished. It's hard not to look at this and wonder if leadership decided that Pokémon was indeed just for kids, and that therefore releasing a half-baked product wouldn't matter. Implicitly, there's a sense that the executives assumed the intended audience wouldn't notice or wouldn't care. And while I'm amused by the irony as an adult, it's impossible not to see how misjudged that assumption is. This is the kind of failure that in other industries would see executives bowing in apology to the public. And despite all this, the hook remains. My collector's brain is awake, my curiosity engaged. I've battled in multiplayer, imperfectly but enough to see the potential. The addictive loop of discovery, capture, evolution and collection is deeply satisfying. I understand why people spend hundreds of hours, why they obsess over completed Pokédexes and shiny Pokémon. I'm still learning. I don't know if I should focus on one team or catch everything. I'm confused by the menus, unsure of the progression system, and the environments all feel eerily empty and similar. Movement can be clunky, with rolling instead of jumping, and certain mechanics remain opaque. Will I discover them, or are they just not in the game? And yet, I keep playing. The pleasure derived from collection and progression outweighs the irritation of technical shortcomings. So, are Pokemon games just for kids? No. The entry point might be younger audiences, but the hooks, the strategies, the obsession, they reach anyone, especially someone like me coming in cold at 50. Is Pokémon Z a good game? It is, and it isn't. The core experience is clever, compelling, and in many ways brilliant. The wrapper, the world, the menus, the technical choices is sloppy and inconsistent, almost to the point of disbelief, and yet I'm still captivated. I want to keep playing. I want to see where this collection goes. I want to catch, evolve, battle, and understand the world that has captivated millions for decades. I want a binder. I want to experience more of what I saw in the museum. Surely the other games aren't this half finished. I'm slightly disappointed, hugely irritated, but also undeniably hooked. Pokemon may have assumed I wouldn't notice the half-finished parts, but I do. Or maybe they thought it didn't matter. It does. And yet, I'm still here, enjoying the thrill of discovery and the pull of the collection. Pokemon works. Nintendo have thrown their Pokeball and it struck me. It's a game that can capture adults just as easily as children, and maybe, unfortunately, it has already captured me. This hasn't been a review. If you want one of those, then there are plenty of videos to choose. It also isn't a hate video. I certainly don't hate the game, but I don't love it either. This is a video of discovery, of my discovery, self-discovery. A world aimed at children that I, as an adult, am excited to explore. I'm looking forward to discovering the stories. I'm looking forward to discovering Pokemon, the areas, the characters. you know what? I might even watch the cartoon.